Hello, welcome to this new English lesson on أونروا TV. I hope it will help you learn English. I wish you good and useful time. Home is where your heart is. Today's lesson is a reading one. We are going to read a passage about homes in different places around the world. We are going to practice skimming and scanning, and we are going to learn some new vocabulary too. أعزائي، في درس اليوم سنتدرب على بعض مهارات القراءة، وسيكون نصنا بهذا العنوان. Home is where your heart is. Let's get started. Look under these trees. This is shade. It is a place where it is dark because the light from the sun does not get there. Shade means ظل. Listen, shade. Shade. This is a house. It is a shelter that protects the people who live inside from the world outside. A shelter. Shelter means ملجأ أو مأوى. Listen, shelter. Shelter. This man is holding a mirror. A mirror can reflect light. Reflect means يعكس. Listen, reflect. Reflect. The verb reflect is a regular one. Reflect, reflected, reflected. Clear water can reflect light too. Look at the reflection of the bird in the water. Reflection is the noun from the verb reflect. Listen, reflection. Reflection. This is mud. It is a mixture of sand and water. Some people use mud for building their houses. Mud means طين أو وحل. Listen, mud. Mud. Look, these are caves. A cave is a hole in a hill or a mountain. Cave means كهف. Listen, cave. Cave. This is the map of the world. Look at this red line. This is the equator. The land around the equator is called the tropical area. Tropical area, المنطقة الاستوائية. Listen, tropical area. Tropical area. Look, this is a rainforest. Rainforests are found in tropical areas. Look, this is a rainforest. It's land covered with thick trees. Rainforest غابة مطيرة أو غابة استوائية. Listen, rainforest. Rainforest. Look, stones, wood, sticks, and bricks are all building materials. Building materials, this word means مواد بناء. Listen, building materials. Building materials. Now let's practice. We are going to finish some sentences using the vocabulary we have just learned. Let's read the list first. Material, cave, reflect, rainforest, shade, shelter. Let's begin with number one. Try to finish the sentence with one of these words. What is the appropriate word to finish this sentence? Great. Clear water can reflect light. Clear water can reflect light. Let's move to number two. Try to finish this sentence. Good. It's hot. Let's sit in the shade under those trees. Again, It's hot. Let's sit in the shade under those trees. Let's move to the next one. Try to finish this sentence using one of these words. What is the correct word? Great. Wood, mud, and concrete are all building materials. Let's read it again. Wood, mud, and concrete are all building materials. And next one, try to finish this sentence using one of these words. Good. They took shelter from the rain under some trees. They took shelter from the rain under some trees. What about this sentence? Can you finish it using one of these words? Good. The first house for the humans was the cave. The first house for the humans was the cave. Great. And the last one. Some scientists say the rainforests are the lungs of the earth. Let's read it again. Some scientists say the rainforests are the lungs of the earth. Now, let's stop for a short break and be back. Stay with us. Dear students, welcome back. Now, where can you see the following houses? Look, these are houses in East Africa. These are traditional houses in East Africa. Look, every house joins the other and together they make a circle. At night, everybody goes inside and sleeps safely. Now, what about this house? Where can you see this house? This is an example of traditional houses in cold areas. Look, it has a low roof and small windows to keep it warm. What about this house? Where can you see it? This is an example of traditional houses in the tropical areas of Southeast Asia. Look, it's built above the ground. Why? Because the weather is very hot there. And the last house, look, where can you see this house? This is one of the traditional houses in the Middle East. Most Syrian houses are like this. Look, it has a courtyard in the middle of the house. Now, dear students, let's skim for the main idea. Now, sometimes we read a text quickly to understand its main idea. We don't focus on every single word. We just read for general understanding. We call this skimming. أعزائي، أحياناً نقرأ نصاً ما قراءة سريعة للحصول على فكرة عامة للنص. هنا لا نركز على التفاصيل بل على الفهم الإجمالي للقطعة. Now let's skim and choose the topic sentence. Let's read them. People have always needed homes. People use local materials to build their houses. Houses protect people from wild animals. Since the earliest times, people have needed somewhere safe and comfortable to live, a shelter from the world outside. Our ancient ancestors often used caves. Later, they learned to build houses. To do this, they used local material. They designed their houses to protect themselves from wild animals and bad weather. Now, where is the topic sentence? Which sentence has the main idea of the paragraph? Great. The topic sentence is this one. People have always needed homes, because the paragraph talks about the need for homes in the past and now. These sentences have only part of the idea. Now we are going to move to another activity. We are going to answer some detailed questions. Let's look at number 1. Where did our ancestors used to live? Look, this is a WH question. WH questions are questions that begin with a question word like where, how, why, when. Where asks about place. Where did our ancestors used to live? We will begin with the subject. Remember to write it with capital letter. We can replace it with the pronoun they. We don't need did, but remember to use the past form of the verb. So, used to live. Now, let's scan the paragraph and look for the answer. And remember, we need a place. Where asks about a place. This keyword will help us. Look. Our ancient ancestors often used caves. This is the answer. So, where did our ancestors used to live? They used to live in caves. Or, our ancestors used to live in caves. Why do people need homes? Why asks about reason or purpose. Now, let's look for the answer. Look. To do this, they use local materials. They design their houses to protect themselves from wild animals and bad weather. So let's answer the question now. We will begin with the subject and we can replace it with the subject pronoun they. We don't need do. The verb is need. They need homes. Why? To protect themselves from wild animals and bad weather. Now, this is another activity. We are going to see what do the following words refer to. Let's begin with the first one. We have this. To do this, they use local materials. What does the word this refer to? To see this or to answer this question, we need to read the sentence that precedes it. Our ancient ancestors often used caves. Later, they learned to build houses. To do this, they use local materials. So, the word this refers to building houses. Let's test our answer. To build houses, they use local materials. Does it make sense? Yes. Now look at the word themselves. It is a reflexive pronoun. What does it refer to? Let's read the sentence that precedes it. They use local materials. They design their houses to protect themselves from wild animals. So themselves refers to the subject pronoun they. What does the subject pronoun they refer to? It refers to our ancient ancestors. So, they designed their houses to protect our ancient ancestors from wild animals and bad weather. Now, we'll stop for another break and we'll soon be back. Stay with us. Dear students, welcome back. Now, we are going to skim again for the main idea. We are going to read the next paragraph and see the main idea. Let's read together. Take the Maasai people of East Africa. Long ago, groups of families began building their houses in circles. They just used mud and sticks, but every house joined the next, and together they became a strong wall. At night, they came inside with their cows and goats, safe from dangerous animals. Many Maasai have continued to live like this until today. Now, where is the topic sentence? How the Maasai people use natural materials? How the Maasai people design their homes? Or how the Maasai people protect their animals? The paragraph talked about how the Maasai people design their homes. This is the topic sentence. And the other sentences carry part of the idea or have part of the idea. Now, let's answer some detailed questions. Let's see number 1. Where do Maasai people live? Remember, this is a WH question that begins with where. Where asks about place. So, let's scan the paragraph and find the answer. Look, take the Maasai people of East Africa. This is the place, this is the answer. Where do Maasai people live? They live in East Africa. We begin with the subject, then the verb, and here's the answer. Place. Next one. What do they use to build their houses? Remember, what asks about things? Let's search for the answer. Take the Maasai people of East Africa. Long ago, groups of families began building their houses in circle. They just use mud and sticks. This is the answer. So, what did they use to build their houses? They used mud and sticks. Next one. What is the opposite of outside? The opposite of outside is inside. Next one. Weak. The opposite of weak is strong or powerful. But in the paragraph, we have the word strong. And the last one, stopped. What is the opposite of the verb stopped? The opposite is continued. Now, let's move to the next paragraph. Now, we are going to skim again and underline the topic sentence. Remember, the topic sentence is the sentence that has the main idea of the paragraph. You find it at the beginning or at the end of the paragraph. Let's read together. Around the world, people also found natural ways to shelter from the weather. In cold regions, traditional houses were often low, with thick walls and small windows that face away from the direction of storms. In the hot rainforests of Southeast Asia, people built their homes above the ground and high on hills to catch every cool wind. In the hot, dry Middle East, traditional courtyard houses did something similar. Their thick white walls reflected the sun's heat. The height of the walls provide cool shade in the courtyard all day. Now, where is the topic sentence? The topic sentence is this one, the first sentence in the paragraph. Around the world, people also found natural ways to shelter from the weather. This is the main idea, and this is the topic sentence. And notice the other sentences support this sentence and provide examples in cold areas and in hot areas. Now, let's answer some detailed questions. Number 1, how do people in cold areas protect themselves from cold weather? Let's go back to the paragraph and find the answer. In cold regions, traditional houses were often low with thick walls and small windows that face away from the direction of storms. This is how people in cold areas protect themselves from cold weather. So the answer is, how do people in cold areas protect themselves from cold weather? They build their houses with low roofs and small windows face away from the direction of the wind. And next question. Why are houses in rainforest areas built above hills? Why? Let's go back to the paragraph and find the answer. In the hot rainforests of Southeast Asia, people built their homes above the ground and high on hills. Why? To catch every cool wind. This is the answer. This is the reason. Now let's answer the question. Why are houses in rainforest areas built over the hills? To catch every cool wind. Next one. Why do people in the Middle East paint their houses white? Why asks about reason or purpose. Let's go back for the paragraph and scan for the answer. Their thick white walls reflected the sun's heat. So, why do people in the Middle East paint their houses white? They paint their homes white to reflect the sun's heat and keep everything inside cool. Now, we have some words. Artificial. Artificial means صناعي. This is an adjective. What is the opposite of the word artificial? It appeared in the paragraph. The opposite of artificial, natural, طبيعي. Areas, this is a noun. What is the word that has the same meaning? Areas means regions. And the last one, it's an adjective, different. What is the opposite of different? Great. The opposite of different is similar. مختلف, متشابه. Now, let's move to the next paragraph. Let's read it. During the last century, most people have stopped living in traditional houses with their old ways of protecting against the weather. Now, we heat and cool our modern brick and concrete houses and apartments with electricity, oil, and gas. One thing has never changed, however. We don't want just 4 walls and a roof. We want a place to escape from the world outside. We want somewhere to relax with our families and welcome our friends. In other words, we want our house to be a home, a happy, comfortable place at the center of our lives. As the old saying goes, east or west, home is best. Now, let's answer this question. How do people heat and cool their houses now? Let's look for the answer. Now, we heat and cool our modern brick and concrete houses and apartments with electricity, oil, and gas. So the answer is, they use electricity, oil, or gas. And next question, what do people use for building their modern houses? What asks about things? So let's search for the answer. They use brick and concrete. This is the answer. They use brick and concrete. Now the last question. What is the difference between the words home and house? Can you tell the difference? The word house refers to a particular building, but the word home refers to the place where we live in, where we feel that we belong to. I wish you happy times at home and everywhere. This is the end of our lesson today. Thanks for watching and goodbye.